Hi guys, it's Clarice, and today I am going to do a tutorial on another set of white flowers, the Gardenia. So let's get started. So to start off, I'm using my Arches cold press paper, and for brushes, I am going to use my Silver Black Velvet in 4, my Princeton Neptune in number 8, and then my Squirrel Mop brush in the number 1. And for colors, I am going to use a yellow because the center of the gardenia is a yellow, and we're just going to flesh that out. I do have like a dark grayish, blackish color. I'm just going to sort of see if I can use that for shadow area because it's a white flower. And then I'm using my favorite dark forest hunter green, and I also have like this green brown, which I think I'm going to swap out for or leave it in and just kind of add a yellow as well, because some of the gardenia leaves, like they're this nice thick waxy leaf, but it has like this beautiful light green to it as well. So let's just see if I can get that effect, okay? No promises. So let's start off. To begin with, I am just going to go ahead and use my number 4, and I'll get some of the yellow, and then I am going to make sure that the tip is proper and start off with the center. And the center starts off like, because the gardenia is kind of like a rose peony or in between the flowers, I'm just going to start off exactly the same way like I do with if I were doing one of those. So I'm just doing the center and I'm just applying some yellow. And now there's also some gray involved. So I'm taking in some of the gray, and I just want to make sure that it's not too much. So I have water on here and I have some gray, and I'm just going to add some gray to the yellow. And I want to take out some water and just add a little more gray to the edges. Now this might be a little bit too dark, but you'll see how we can offset this darkness. Just give me some time to show you. So we're just kind of dabbing the center. Now I am going to go ahead, with the same number 8, actually not with the number 8, with the Squirrel Mop brush, and I'm going to, from the inside, come out. And I'm just going to, like, instead of painting the whole petal, I'm just dragging it out and creating illusions of like, oh, here's a stroke from the petal, and the top or the end of the petal, I'm just kind of tapering off, closing it off, leaving it open a little bit, just to kind of show, oh, the areas that are white are where the petal continues, and then the shadow area is where it's shadowy. So we want to do that all over because the petals are very much like a rose. So we're just clicking from the center and dragging out. And if it's too much water, just take your what's the words fail me right now? The paper towel and just dab away. Okay, and then I'm going to take the brush that I have some gray on already, and I'm just going to add gray at in some areas of the petal. And then I will actually, for the outer petals now, I am going to paint it inward. Now this is too much gray, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to leave it for now. Maybe try and dab some off. And then I'm going to continue my petal painting inside. You can even add some yellow if you want to kind of make it not so dark. And just wipe some of the gray off. But for the most part, I would like to have it more gray on the outsides. So for my petal area at least, it's too gray again. So you just have to really be careful about your gray ratios or black ratios when you're doing this. And the outside petals, I'm literally just laying on water with the grays, but like looser. And I'll use some from here as well. And just give the flower the shape. So if you have an image for reference, that would really help when you're doing something like this. And just leave white space in between the petals so you can see where the second layer starts, so to speak. And keep doing that. So you're just applying the layers and the edges. And it would help to kind of have your gray on the side. And then I'm just going to go to some of the edges here in between and add some gray so it spreads into the petal. And then just one last one here. And you want to swish this around. And then finally, what I will do is take some extra gray, and then I'm just going to go on the inside and just highlight the inside so you can see that it's like darker on the in, lighter on the outside. And just taking some darker gray and just adding at the tips. So it's a nice transition. And if you need to kind of swish it around, please do. Then it'll give that more of a natural effect. All right, and then because some of the areas might seem a little bit too like blending into one another, if you want to go ahead while it's still damp and just give some yellow shadow so it forms, so you can see like where the outer petal is. If you feel like it's too much of a jumble, just take your yellow and just help the flower open up. So just like that, you're just kind of going around. And just opening things up. All right, so that's that. And you could have gone lighter on the inside with the gray, but let's just see how that dries off. So I'm not going to touch it for now. I'll just leave it and we'll move on to the leaves. And so for the leaves, I'm going to put down the yellow first. So I'm just getting some yellow on here, and I'm just going to go ahead and draw a leaf. So I'm doing one half first, then the other half. I'm leaving the center open. And so what I will do is now take my Squirrel Mop brush and go in for my green, and I'm getting like a good amount of it. And I'm just gonna go ahead, go in the center and just take some water off, because there's enough water in the yellow already. And I'm just applying the green all over. And now that I have that green, once it's set, I'll go over again. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and do some of the other leaves. And the leaves are pretty much like your basic beetle shaped, or I like the leaves. They're like very waxy looking. And I do like the shape of it as well. So because this is like coming from under the flower, I'm just giving it extra shadow. You don't really have to, because this is like a very loose style of painting, but it's up to you. And then just some right here because it's still damp. I'm going to use, I'll use the number 4 and just drag some water and color down so it kind of hits the petal a little bit. There we go. And now I'm going to go back and get some of the green, but I want to make sure that there isn't a lot of water on my brush. And I'm just going to draw the structure of the leaf. Same thing here. And then the same thing here. All right, so this is my gardenia, guys. I'm going to continue and do a couple more, but essentially this was the idea, or my method of doing it at least. I know the colors might seem a little brighter, but it helps me because when I do, like when I make these digital, which I most certainly will, it helps me when I take out the background and stuff like that, so I still have darker color. So this is my method of doing it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in your comments what you thought. And if you have any other suggestions, I'd love to hear it. I'm going to continue and do some more, and I will make that a time lapse that I can add to this video. And in the meantime, if you guys have just found me and you like my videos, please do subscribe. And I am also on YouTube and, sorry, obviously you're on YouTube right now, on Instagram and Facebook. So please follow me there as well. I love to see what you guys come up with when you do the tutorials that I put out. So, you know, if you're not shy and you want to share, please do share. Thanks, guys. Bye.